How would you compare and contrast the differences between the blockchain business on the East Coast and in the USA with, say, London and Europe?
Yeah, no, the similarity one is that they do share is a focus on fintech and financial services, also because let's face it, London and New York are financial centers. So a lot of the innovation happens to be around financial services. In New York, also, I am beginning to see some of the ancillary industries being picked up, including healthcare and energy and digital identity, government services, beyond fintech or financial services. The one thing I love about London, you go to London and I have to say the ecosystem is all right there. Government, regulators, investors, and the entrepreneurs.
Tell me a little bit about what you're seeing at the moment in the sort of trends that are coming to you in terms of the blockchain business as a whole.
Yeah. So we focus squarely on growing the pie. This is a multi-trillion-dollar industry in the making. It's not just crypto. It's not just digital assets. There's actually entire ecosystems that are being built today across multiple industries. I don't think there's a single industry that will not be affected over time. And so when we look at those trends at a macro level, the thing that we're seeing top of book is education at the government, regulator, legislator level, but also some of the executives of some of the biggest companies around the world also trying to unpack what do we do with our legacy business in a world where technology is permeating many aspects of industry, whether it's supply chain, transparency, data movement, data as money. There are many different angles.
Blockchain feels like the dot-com revolution. Much talk, but the mainstream has not yet signed up. Dot-com heralded in a change of culture. What culture change is likely to come from blockchain?
I will argue with you that we've seen a huge shift in the last 6 months alone on mainstream adoption. And just giving one obvious case, the headlines coming out of the US, PayPal has offered cryptocurrency access to its 325 million active users, as well as 29 million merchants. That's a game changer right there in terms of mainstream adoption. And we're seeing the convergence of people being able to hold digitally. And we're using the term digital wallet right now, and I'm very careful about that because I think it's going to evolve. But your ability to hold not only fiat currency, but cryptocurrency, and then down the road, other digital assets, which haven't even been invented yet today. And that notion of digital wallet then also merges with digital identity, which is going to take on another context. So when you talk about culture and what culture changes will happen, I think it will depend on the industry. I think it will depend on the use case. But what we're beginning to see as a consumer, the average person on the street, is more options and more access. And frankly, at some level, this is also about self-sovereign power over your data. And we're going to see more iterations of this.
Do you see some parallels with the dot-com boom and indeed one must say dot-com bubble of the course of 20 years ago?
So many people refer to this next paradigm shift as Web 3.0. How do we build next generation internet in a better way? I think the view today, and some people may not share this, but I think the view today is that the internet was brought about as a utility and everyone has access to it. And so now the business models that come off the back of that, people are experimenting right now with 360-degree circular economy, meaning I actively choose to participate in a network. I get paid for that because I either create data or I'm participating in the data generation. These are all novel concepts, and I think it's TBD on how these evolve.
Hi, Sandra. Do you think the ownership of data will stay with the exchanges or the financial intermediaries indeed, or transition to the participants, individuals in a digital asset world?
That's a great question. I would like data ownership and access and control to shift to the individual layer below. So meaning either individual institutions or individual people. We need to move to that state. Otherwise, it would be very difficult to create that 360-degree economy I was talking about, where you can offer to lend that data, but if you don't have control over it, how can you monetize it? How is you as an individual or as an institution monetizing it? And frankly, we're just seeing a very dislocated, unfair system at the moment where a handful of very large companies control most of the data. I think people are fed up. I don't know about you guys, but I think a lot of people would like control over their own data. And then frankly, if it's relevant, to monetize it. And other people just choose to be private.
Hi, Sandra. What do you believe is the most successful live implementation of blockchain technology?
Okay, to answer Igor's question, what do I think is the most successful live implementation of blockchain technology? This is going to probably upset a lot of the people who are on the enterprise side. I actually think when you look at the public blockchains out there, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Filecoin, there are many in the works. They're doing pretty amazing work. And frankly, the grassroots movement of a lot of these blockchains is something to admire. And there's still a lot of them are work in progress, but how often do you get tens of thousands of developers working together on a public chain to make it better and better every day? It's pretty amazing.
What is it? 96% or something of all money that goes through real-time gross settlement is actually institutional funds being swapped. The public are only 2-3% of the whole mix.
Right.
How does that impact upon the way that you're looking towards the structure of things like central bank digital currencies in the future?
That's a fantastic point, Patrick. I'm sitting on a World Economic Forum digital currency governance consortia, which has a report coming out in August. And this covers really sort of unpacking wholesale versus retail CBDC frameworks. And of the supposed 80 plus central bank digital currency projects happening around the world, don't hold me to that number, it's what I heard, is the latest count. There are different problems being attacked by different countries. So CBDC, even in itself, is not a singular thing. It's CBDC for wholesale, it's CBDC for retail. You've got Project Bakong in Cambodia, which has gone live, and it specifically looked to solve the problem of the fact that they've got 60+% individuals, citizens, who have no bank account. And they've now implemented their own version of CBDC through an app. And they're using the Hyperledger Soromitsu Iroha blockchain to enable that. And that's gone live. And that's been around for about a year, I think. But the pilot's been going on for several years. But then you've got other countries that are absolutely looking at just the wholesale interaction between banks and the central bank. And they're not really solving for retail level solutions. So again, it depends on the CBDC use case.